Hello everybody, thank you for joining me today and welcome back to my channel. So on my live video, what I had done was I had made a cluster, but the problem was the way I had my phone situated, you really weren't able to see me working on a cluster. So I know Toni had mentioned that she really wanted to see how I did my clusters. And so I had told her last night that maybe what I'll do is I'll just make a video showing either 2 or 3 different ways that I make clusters. So this was the one I had done yesterday in the live. And then this is one that I've done in the past. And I just keep in my stash. So like I had told the girls that had joined us yesterday, and again I would like to say thank you to Trisha, Harmony, Erica. I know my friend from Burn Something Candles had shown up, and I know Angela had mentioned she was sorry she wasn't able to come, but I would like to thank you all for joining me. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a couple of different versions. I laid out everything I was going to need. So in this pile here, let me move these out of the way. Now what I did, as you can see, is I took papers out of my paper scraps. I have a box full of flowers that I use. So I took some flowers out. I have my mother's buttons that she had, so I took some buttons out. I have a whole bunch of stuff. So I have some labels, some papers, some cutouts. These are hearts. Then over here we have the buttons, some stamps, and then we have the different types of papers. We can use digitals. I have both regular doilies, paper doilies, and printed out paper doilies. Then here we have old book page. Here we have text pages. This was part of a digital as well. We have music paper. We have map pages. This is heavier cardstock. Sometimes I will use this as the base. And then here I have a little piece of like cellophane. I have handmade paper. Again, this is the textured handmade paper in a different color. I have washi tape. I have in this bucket here, we'll show you. Let me lift you up again. So in this bucket, I have some sari silk. I have some fabric, more sari silk, a little bit more fabric, a little bit of lace. I have lace behind me. Again, more rickrack. I have some colored papers over here. This is fabric. I'll put the papers back here. And another piece of fabric. Those were what I had used during the live. And then again, I have some ribbon. So I have some purple ribbon. As you can see, I'm kind of in a purple theme here. Again, here's more of that rickrack. I have this one, which is white polka dot on purple. Then I have the shiny stuff that you get from the Dollar Tree, the tulle. And that's pretty much it. I mean, like I said, you could pretty much use anything. So I'm going to take these couple of washies out because these are kind of colorful and this has got script on it. So, all right. So there's a couple ways that you can do this. You can either do this by gluing it all together. You can sew them, which is usually the way I tend to do them. You can use a sewing machine. You could do them with a sewing machine. There's a whole bunch of different ways that you could do it. And basically, all you're doing is you're just collaging onto a base is what you're doing. So like I said, what I usually will do is for my base, I will use either a heavier type of cardstock, like this. It's a little bit thicker. Or I will use fabric, especially if I'm sewing. I'll use paper, like thinner paper and fabric. You can use ribbon. You can use pretty much anything like that. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to start off with the gluing, because the gluing is the easiest. So we're going to show you that one. So here I have, now also to remember, you're not tied to a specific size. Unless you want it to go into a journal that's like small, or you're trying to actually make the colors match something that's going with a specific journal, then my suggestion is I would try to make multiple sizes, only because you just don't know what size you're going to need for a page or the outside of a journal, either one. So what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to do just let me cut this down a little bit. Like I said, there's no rhyme or reason to this. You'll kind of get a feel for what you're doing as you go along. So usually now what I'll do is I will find pieces to build up my base. So let's see, I have some tickets here. So I hope everybody is well. Today is Sunday. The weather is so wonky here, I can't even begin to tell you. All right, glue. And I am going to not use glue stick, because glue stick's really not gonna hold it. So I just basically, I'm using my art glitter glue, and I just put on a tag, a ticket. So let's start adding some color. So we're going to add this. Now you have the option, if you would like to ink these, you can certainly ink them. It's completely up to you. Let's use a little bit of map page here. And I only use glue kind of in the middle, because if I want to lay things underneath, I can lay things underneath. Let's see. Let's use, bring some color into this. Yes, that was a sticker. So yes, you can use your stickers. Okay. Now, if you want to shape them, because needless to say, if you want it to lie flat or square, you just make a square base and then you work from the square. Now, if you want to shape them, so like if you want to have it on the top of a book page, but you kind of want to have it a little bit of a half circle, you just lay the pieces down in a half circle. Let me find, maybe we'll use this one. And then don't forget too, you could put these underneath. I didn't use any fabric yet. Let me use a little bit of fabric here. And then what I do is I just turn it over. So now I'll start making I'll start bringing it down a little bit. We have some of this. Let's use some of this. And like I said, if gluing is easier for you, then just go with the gluing. And then my mother's buns have fabric on them and everything yet. Okay. I think I might use that with that one. Okay. Now let's see, what else do we have over here? I don't want to use this, sorry. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how to add washi tape. What I do is I take like old book page, plain paper, whatever you have. Okay, and then what I will do is I will add bits and pieces of washi tape onto it. No rhyme or reason. Again, you do whatever. You can add multiples on, which I'm gonna do. This is a new one I actually found at the Dollar Tree. This one's really nice. I usually don't find really nice washi tapes anymore at Dollar Tree, but this one was really nice. It's like a watercolor. All right, and then maybe what we'll do is we'll add a little bit of the book print. I'm talking lower because my husband is asleep. We have things that we have to go and do today, so. And today's his day off. Okay. So here you have some washi tape on paper. And again, you're just going to do the same thing. You're going to put it on the back. So what I do is I try to look at the piece and I'm like, okay, well, I need it to go kind of down here. And then I will take the washi or whatever piece that you're working with, and then I will put it like that. Okay. Now, I kind of want to have some lace. So I'm going to pull some of this off. Okay. And I'm going to lay this across the bottom. I just want it to be noticeable on the other side. Of course, it doesn't want to stick. Now, if you wanted to add on dangles and stuff off of these, you can certainly do that. Like if you wanted this to be on the edge of a page. Okay, so say this is my page. Now you can have it nice up at the top and it will come out of the journal. You can put it on an angle. You can put it on the side. Again, you can angle it. You could put it just on the bottom and make a tuck. I know you can't see, sorry. I'm trying to keep you guys close here so you could see. You could put it on the bottom and then have it as a tuck. You could do it this way too. You know, it would have to be fit properly, but, and you could use it as a tuck. I like them as page turns a lot of the time, so you have them as a tab, or if you have it on the side. But like I said, that's kind of what you're looking to do here. So let's see. I think last but not least, we're going to put the button on. Do I want to put a stamp? Yeah, let's put a stamp. I'm going to break up this piece over here. Okay, and then we're going to glue this. Put you here. Get my finger off of it. And I'm going to find a little flower. Let's see, what color do we want to use? So I have some neutrals. I have a lot of different colors here. I have pink. We have this purple. I think I'm gonna go with the pink. Yeah, that one will go. This one I think is too big. Yeah, we're gonna go with this pink one. And we're gonna lay that right there. All right. Now, if you wanted to put sayings and stuff, now I have all these books with different sayings and stuff. I used one of these yesterday. I just had a hard time with my hands trying to finagle through these. But you can certainly put like one of those on in the middle if you wanted to. I have these little cards. And so if I wanted to put like a little fairy card on it in the middle, or, you know, depending upon how it's situated, you could put that on the top where it's kind of like a tag. Or I keep saying tag, like a tab. Then, if you have gems, you can certainly add any type of pearl gems, any type of gems you want. You can certainly add that. I think I might add one of those to my button. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go with the pink. Or do I want to use that? You know what? We're going to go with that. I've had these for so long, they don't stick that great. I don't remember where I bought these. I'm going to assume it was Michael's or AC Moore or one of those places at some point in time. And then we'll let that dry. Okay, so we have one done. Okay, And like I said, you can cut this off. I'm probably gonna just leave it for right now as this dries. Also too, I want to take this little piece off here. All right, so that is number one. So let's see, now number two, what we're gonna do is we're gonna sew, okay? So I'm gonna get my needle. I have to get me some thread. Okay. So I don't have a real thick thread today. I'm gonna use, this is a very old thread. And if you have like a lot of old thread, this is the best way to use it because you really shouldn't use it in your sewing machines. And what I do is I just cut off an arm's length. And this, of course, is the hardest part. Hence the reason why I'm using a big needle. Right. Tie off the ends here. This is going to take a couple of times because this is really thin. I want to know, when you guys thread a needle, do you ever get the knot in the same place all the time? And if there's a trick to it, please let me know down below in the comments section, because I end up with these knots all over the place. All right, so let's see, what do we want to start with? I think we're going to do a tab 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rip this apart here. Okay, and then I want to use this burnt type edge on the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew this on, and then basically what you're going to do is just figure out where you want to have it, and you start in the back. Just make sure it's down far enough because you don't want to, I hate to tell you how many times I jab myself. And if you see that it's doing that, that means your hole's not, your knot isn't big enough. So we will continue. That's one of the things about having thinner thread. But I just wanted to show you that you can use old thread that may be in your stash that you got from, I don't know, any type of flea market, or, you know, if you got one from garage sales, you know, stuff like that. Estate sales, anything, any of those type of places, because you're going to find that a lot of people back from like the 50s, 60s, even 70s, you're going to find a lot of sewing stuff, because I know my mom, my mom used to make a lot of my clothes because I was overweight even as a child. So a lot of the times she couldn't find clothes for me in the right size. Plus my mother used to make my, not all of them, but she made a good number of like really nice costumes. Like I had a really nice clown costume that she had made. My mother did a lot of sewing in her earlier years when I was a kid. Yeah, see how my knots are going all over the place? try this again. And you don't have to worry about the size of your stitches. And just be careful, you don't want to get the point up into your nail, under your nail bed. That's why I say always go slow. This will be the most time consuming one, but if you have the time and you like to sew, hand sew, this is definitely the way to go. Okay, so let's pull in. I like this paper. I think I'm going to put this on the bottom. Now, what you have to remember is we've sewn up on top. So to get down to the bottom, you're going to lose a lot of your thread. So what I do is I will work my way down. So I will look to see if there's something like here that I want to put. Maybe we will use I think we're going to use that here. And I'll go over the top. So we're going to go up here. And you just want to make sure that you're going through. Both sides, because see how you have a longer piece there. Once upon a time I didn't have as many issues, but my hands have gotten so bad. It's kind of hard to do this anymore. That's why it took me so long yesterday, and it was I was like, oh God, you guys can't even see me. Okay, that's a mess, but it's gonna have to do. And if you make mistakes, don't worry about it. My big thing is I forget which side I'm coming in and out from a lot of the times. But most of the times you got to remember a lot of this stuff is going to be covered up anyway. And not only that, you put stitching on all our paperwork and junk journal stuff as it is, so. Okay, so now we can add this on. So we're going to add this on to the bottom here. but definitely gluing is a lot faster. So if you really don't want to go through the hassle of sewing, I know I just think the sewn pieces look better only because it's not that it's not being handmade when you're doing it with the glue, but I just like seeing the sewn pieces. Okay, so now we're at this bottom corner. So we got to look here. What do we want to put down here now? We can put, we have some of these hearts here. So let's put a heart here, okay? I think the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to do it on an angle. I don't want, see, I don't want to lose those. You know what I think we'll put the heart on that side. What do we have? I don't want to use that. You know what we'll use? Let's use some music. Now we could put it on the top or we could put it on the bottom. I think what I'm going to do, let me cut this off. We'll do that. We'll put it right there. But like I said, I was talking about this in the live. If you are just sitting in front of the TV, just grab a bunch of random stuff, and that is like probably the easiest way, because you really don't have to think about it, really. Okay, so that's sewn on. So we have that. Let's use, I kind of want to use this. Let's cut a little piece of this off here. Yep, I like that. So we're going to do this. So all I did was I rolled it up a couple of times. Now the other thing too is when you're doing this, you can make X's, you know, like if you were doing embroidery, you can use embroidery stitches. Okay, so now you see that I'm moving down to the other edge. So now we can put the heart on here. And however you want to put it on here is the way you put it on. Okay, so now that's on. So now we gotta look and see what else we want to put on here. We have, so we have our textile. I like that. Just trying to figure out how I want this here. Let's see. I know these are big, but see, it's too big. I think we're going to use that one. Now these I had gotten off of AliExpress. And it's called, this is the book, I forget what the author's name is, but the one who does the Flower Fairy books. So that's basically what these are. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some of this out here. Just want to angle this off here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to sew him on right over here. And these are a little bit heavier, so I use the table as my pushing mechanism. It's just easier for me to push. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up and then back around. If you ever run out of thread while you're working on this, basically all you're going to do is just rethread your needle. It does not make a difference. I knew that was coming. I keep losing the thread. That's why I like using the thicker thread, but okay, so that's good. So now we want to get this on here. Now you can bring it down a little bit, which I think I'm going to because I don't want it to be perfectly even. So I think we're going to put it there. Okay, so your stamp is now on. So set it down, take a look at it, and then just look and see, okay, well, do I need a flower, or, you know, do you need something else? I'm thinking a flower, and we're going to put it here. I don't want anything real big, but we're going to take a look at, those are real big. Nope, I think we're going with the purple. Okay. Now, you're probably saying, how do you put a flower on by sewing? Same way you're doing anything else with this stuff. You're just gonna sew right through the petals. And it's getting a little bit harder because I'm getting, my thread is starting to get a little bit low. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna put this here, and then I'm just gonna feed my way up without killing myself here. There we go. Now, if this is too much for you, because this is kind of fiddly, you can certainly just glue it on. My suggestion would probably be just sew it on. It's just easier, to be quite honest with you. But I just wanted to show you that it can be sewn on. And my issue right now is that I don't have much thread here. Okay, and now I'm just going to end this off, and all I do is I just feed it through. Let's see how it's like. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it. I should have made this longer. And I'm just going to tie it off. But normally what I would do is I would feed it through and then tie it off. And if you have issues with your fingers, where you really can't feel your fingers. Okay, that's basically all I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna do one, because this is gonna be glued down anyway. So that's it for the sewing. Now, just kind of take a look at it. Now, is there anything that you kind of want to add to it? Like, I have all these gems here. Do we want to add maybe a pearl? We could put a pearl up here. I think we're going to put a pearl here. So I'm going to get my glue out. I tend to do this. I don't like having edges, sharp edges, so I tend to put stuff like that on sharp edges. Now there's something here. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this, I think. I kind of like that. What else could we use? I think that's really it. And let me glue this part down. And that's why I say take a look at it, because when you're working with this, there may be pieces where you really didn't get it sewn down properly, which is usually my case, but okay. I'm going to put a bigger one down here, I think. All right, so we have that one done. So that's it. That's all we're going to do today. So let me clear the decks here. Okay, so we have the one that we actually used just solely glue on. And then, like I said, the back doesn't matter, but you can always put, if it was going to be exposed, you could always put paper over the back so that it wouldn't be, you know, if you don't want to show the parts that are exposed. But you would use that however you see fit on a page. And then we have this one, which is sewn and a little bit of glue. All right, so that is the two that I've done. So you got the gluing method and then you have the sewing method. Okay, it just depends really on how comfortable you are with sewing. And also too, if you have the mobility in your hands, but there's a whole bunch of different things. It's basically just collage. That's just how you have to look at it. And it's just the way that you're actually presenting it onto a piece. And again, like I said, for a topper up on top here, that's kind of what I made it to look like. So you would glue this on. And then you have your page decoration. And then see how it shows like this would be a good one where, no, I'm just gonna do it for you guys. Let's just put this on top here. We're gonna glue this on top here. Only because I know this is what I'm gonna use this for, so. Now you could either cut around, you can just rip it, however you want to do it. But I'm using very, very thin old book page, so. Okay. Okay, so now when you go to put this on your page, when you go to flip it, it's all covered. And then you can put a stamp or something on it. You could do whatever you want. If you wanted to put, you know, a rubber stamp, however you wanted to do it. But that's pretty much how you do them. Then at some point in time, these are sewn on the sewing machine with just like fabric, but you can also do them with paper. This will be for another video. I have to add a new needle onto my sewing machine, but this is another way of using up your scraps. And then usually what I'll do is I'll cut little pieces off of this and then I'll add stuff onto these, but we'll do another video for one of these. Okay, well, I hope this was helpful and I hope you enjoyed this. So again, this is what we created. This one was all glue. This one was a little bit of glue and mostly sewing. Okay, so I will see you all on my next video. Take care, everybody. Bye.